Hello, my friend. Today we will be creating three beautiful farmhouse fall decor DIYs. And for the first one, we will be using this canvas. We are going to be attempting the whole busted canvas that has YouTube on a frenzy right now. I'm going to give it my own little twist. I'm going to start by covering the front of the canvas with a nice thick coat of Mod Podge. Once it was fully covered, I'm going to take this fabric from Dollar Tree and we are going to add it to the front and the sides. I'm going to make sure that I have enough fabric on the sides to fold around and over. Then I'm going to cut off the excess using my scissors, of course. Now we're going to add some more Mod Podge to the sides and the back, and I'm going to fold the edges kind of like you will do when you are folding a present. I did the same thing with the shorter sides. And then here I'm just folding in the edges of the opposite side, adding some Mod Podge over it to make sure that it attaches nice and neat, and then folding it over also as you would do the corners of a present. And then I'm just sealing the edges using some more Mod Podge to make sure that fabric stays nice and put. And what I did to this side, I will do to the other as well. Then I'm going to take this buffalo check fabric that I also got from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut a section that will be big enough to go inside of the back of that canvas. And then we're going to add Mod Podge to that as well. I'm also making sure to add the Mod Podge to the inside, like underneath of where the boards are as well, so I'm able to tuck in my fabric. And I'm going to glue my fabric down with the right side up. I'm just tucking in the edges into the bottom of the wood, smoothing things out as I go. And I decided to do it in sections. So I did one half, I pressed my fabric down, and then I'm adding some more Mod Podge to the other side, and I'm putting my fabric down and smoothing it out. And then I also added Mod Podge to the top section of the fabric, so I'm able to protect it as well. Before I was done with this end, I trimmed off the excess fabric and then sealed off the fabric again with some more Mod Podge. Make sure that it was underneath of that board and seal that piece on the top as well. Let it sit for a while until it was completely dry. In the meantime, I'm going to take this flat canvas from Dollar Tree as well, and I'm going to add this scrapbook paper that I got from Michael's to the top. To glue it, I'm using some of my Elmer's disappearing glue. I'm going to center the paper as best as I can. It's a little bit smaller than the actual canvas, but that is fine because that section will not be showing. Once I knew exactly where I wanted it, I'm going to press it down, making sure to remove any bubbles. And I'm going to just cut off the excess paper and use my brayer to smooth down the paper onto the canvas. I had a little bit of paper extra on some sides, so I'm just going to use my zip sander to completely sand off those edges. And using my brayer, I'm making sure that everything remains nicely adhered to the canvas. Then I took this scarecrow that I got from Walmart. First, I'm going to go ahead and remove that little stick that it has up his hoo-hoo. And then I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and do an X in the top section of the canvas. And then I'm going to follow those same lines using my scissors to open up that hole a lot bigger. Once I did that, I'm cutting each section that I cut out in half as well to give more slats to this. Here you can see how that buffalo check is now going to be coming onto the front. But first, before we do anything with that, I'm going to go ahead and position my scarecrow on it. I want to see exactly where it's going to fit to make sure that I have the hole being big enough to accommodate it. So I needed some spots to be open a little bit more. So I'm just using my X-Acto knife and my scissors to open up those little slats a little bit more, so I'm able to give this a more beautiful look. I want those buffalo check lines to be noticeable around the entire scarecrow. Now that I'm happy with that, I'm going to go ahead and take the legs of the scarecrow and bend them down a little bit, and I'm going to glue them down. Then I'm adding a generous amount of hot glue on the back, legs, and around the entire frame as well, close to the scarecrow. And I'm going to position that flat canvas right on top of that. I wanted the sides where the scarecrow was to be a little bit further out, so I'm just cutting a little bit further back on that section. Then I added some hot glue on the very tip of that section and then rolled it backward and glued it onto the canvas, held it there in place until it dried. And I repeated this process with every single piece until I went all the way around. And then I'm gluing the arms of the scarecrow to the two side slats as you see right there. I wanted this to look as if he was busting through the hole, like he just decided to just come out of it. And then I decided to trim off that raffia because I just thought it was a little bit too long and it also seemed like it was burnt on the edges. And look how cute, but I'm not done yet. We need to embellish a little bit more. I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue on the side on there just to keep the hat away from his face so it will be nice and neat. And then I decided to take this little paper sunflower from Dollar Tree and add it to that corner of the hat as well, just to give it a little bit more oomph and make it blend even better with the background. And then I'm going to add some corn to this as well. I wanted the corn pieces to be a little bit fuller in the edges. So I'm just bending the bottom pieces down so they will be fuller and neater. And then I glue them both to the very bottom of the frame. If you're enjoying this video so far, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and make sure that you share with someone who will enjoy it as much as you, because sharing is caring and it helps my channel grow. And also leave me a comment and let me know what you like about this project. Today's video is part of the Talented Creators collaboration that is hosted monthly by Aurea from DIY with Aurea, myself, Loli from Loli's Creations, and our guest host this month is Tammy from Happiness Created, and our co-host is Tia from Momobot Dress DIYs. The links to the channels and to the playlist will be linked in the description box below and also put in the comments. Make sure that you head on over to their channels and to the playlist and show everyone some love. All right, let's go to the next inspiration. I will be using this cotton board that I got at Dollar Tree. I'm going to use some heat to remove that metal word. After prying it off with my spatula, I'm going to go ahead and sand off any raised or uneven edges that resulted here. And I taped off the bottom and top section around the pig. Then I painted the section where the pig is with my 4-card rich black paint. I also painted the edges and distressed the edges as well. And before the paint dried, I removed the tape to reveal a nice clean edge. Then further embellish this, I'm going to take some of this burlap fabric that I got from Dollar Tree. I cut a section that was just a little bit shorter than the black section and fray in the edges. And I'm just going to glue it right on the center, adding some hot glue in the back to keep the fabric in place. I made sure to hold the fabric taut in the front, making sure that everything was nice and even before I glued the second section. Then I took this pumpkin that I got from Dollar Tree, removed that jute cord from it, and glued it right into the middle of the burlap. And then I added this bow that I created with some burlap and some ribbon from Hobby Lobby. But I'm not done yet. I need a little something, so I'm going to add this pumpkin from Dollar Tree right to the center of the bow. And that is it for this one. You let me know what you think. Friends, these two amazing creators have birthday for this month of September. That is Risha from Pretty DIYs, Cheryl from Farmhouse Frugally, and La Parsha from Created It Myself. Make sure to head on over to their channels and wish them a very happy birthday and let them know that Loli sent you. For the next inspiration, we're going to be using this wood round from Dollar Tree. I'm going to remove that hanger, and we are going to be using this fabric also from Dollar Tree. First, I'm going to cover the entire wood round using some Mod Podge. Then I added the fabric right on top of the wet Mod Podge. I smoothed it down, making sure that that went through the fabric pretty well. Then I trimmed off all the excess fabric from the sides. And cover the entire top with another coat of Mod Podge. Once the fabric dried, I'm going to sand off all the edges to remove the excess fabric. And then using my weeders, I'm just going to poke through the original holes so I'm able to reposition my hanger. To embellish the hanger a bit, I'm just going to thread some beads onto the jute cord. I just added 2 beads to every one round bead and then repositioned my hanger to the original holes. Now it's time to embellish it further with some sunflowers from Dollar Tree. I cut 6 sunflowers with the leaves and I'm going to arrange them in sets of 3. I am now happy with the placement, so I'm going to glue them right there to the middle. Then I'm going to take some raffia and I'm going to wrap it around my self-heating mat from Dollar Tree until I have a nice bunch. I'm going to be doing this so I'm able to create a bow, but I wanted to make it nice and full and kind of messy. Then I remove the raffia and I'm going to tie it in the middle with another piece of raffia and then cut the edges off to reveal a messy bow. And I keep trimming the edges until I was happy with the result. I'm going to hold that to the side for now, and I'm going to take some boxwood from Dollar Tree, but this is in red, and I'm going to cut some pieces as well for this. I slightly bend the edges downward, and I'm going to place them in the bottom of the sunflowers as you see there, and glue them in at the bottom with some hot glue. And what I did to one side, I did to the other. I took some of this burlap fabric from Dollar Tree and I'm going to create a bow using it. I just did an awareness bow and I did it crisscross on opposite sides twice and then tied it in the middle with a piece of jute cord. I first glued the piece of raffia onto the bottom of the stems and then added that bow to the top as well. And then took a button that I had laying around and stuck it right in the middle of the bow. Next, I took one of these harvest signs from this pack at Dollar Tree and I'm going to paint it with my full card copper paint. And glued it to the center of my wood round in a slanted position using some hot glue. And that is it for this one. You let me know what you think. And here's the final reveal. Don't forget to let me know which one of these is your favorite. My friends, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be blessed, be a blessing, and craft responsibly. And if you would like to follow me on social media, here are my social media links. And don't forget to visit my friends in the playlist. If you would like to watch some more of my videos, here's a suggestion, and you are more than welcome to binge away with this playlist as well. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. You're amazing. Bye.